Dear thought leaders, it's good to see you here today. And we are going to be talking about how you can connect better and engage better with your target audience, whether you are a business owner and you want to grow your business, or you're working with job seekers who want to engage their audience, i.e., the recruiters and hiring managers and colleagues who may be able to refer them into the next great role. That's what we're going to talk about today. And as we know, job search is on the top of people's minds. We've got a lot of layoffs going on in the US and talks of recessions going on other places as well. And so, how can we help people be ready for that, even if they have not faced it yet? Or if they have, a lot of it comes down to those relationships and how can they become that referred candidate that other people are going to refer into the roles that they're hiring for. Because just as things are laying off, there's always also opportunities available. So, how do our clients get those opportunities? And how do we as business owners get more opportunities to work with clients? And of course, that comes down to the conversations that we're having and how engaging we are to get people into our community and into those conversations. So, we're going to talk about 3 steps to have more engaging conversations with people in your marketing and putting a broad brush across that, right? Whether you're marketing your business or you're helping job seekers market themselves, it's all about relationships and how do we start those relationships. And so this comes from Ryan Levesque, and some of you have seen my email and my marketing that we're doing a session with him this Thursday evening, and I hope you'll be able to join us for that. He's going to be talking about his process for a quiz funnel, which is really quite wrapped up in what we're going to talk about today in terms of marketing, because he doesn't just talk about a quiz funnel. I know there's lots of systems out there where you hear about doing a quiz and they're fun and they're cute. What caught me right away about what he's doing is the psychology behind it, and that really his quizzes are set up to give you great information about your clients, your potential clients, if you're in business, so that you can have better marketing, have better connections, and even have better products and services that you are sharing with them. Now, for a job seeker, of course, they're not going to create a quiz funnel, but they can take some of the wisdom that we get from Ryan and apply it in a different way. And today I'm going to be sharing with you that information that you or your client can use. And then if you want to take it a bit deeper, you can join us for that free session on Thursday. It is just Ryan doing what he does for 2 hours, and you'll get some awesome information from him. Some of you already attended some of his previous events last week as he was doing this free sessions on the quiz funnel. And if you've done that, you still might want to join us tonight. If you decide to purchase his program, you will want to use my link, and I've been sending that out. If you want it again, let me know, because you'll get the bonuses that I'm going to be giving to people that use my link, because we are affiliated with him right now, so that we can share his great information with people, because it really has transformed my business. But let's just dive right in here and talk about these 3 things that you or your clients can do to better engage with your audience, whatever that looks like. So the first thing is ask. And Ryan has a book on ask. You can read it. It's the Ask Method. That's his business. But it's really not rocket science, right? He goes through some really good questions to ask people. But on the very surface, you can ask your clients or your prospects, what is their number one challenge with X, Y, or Z? Now, I see people trying to do this with LinkedIn, and it's probably not going to work that well. A LinkedIn quiz or poll might work, but polls aren't getting as much visibility as they used to. So you really have to have a good, engaging post and a very intriguing question now for those to get some traction. You can ask the prospects you're talking to every day, what has been their number one challenge with a resume? What's been their number one challenge with changing careers? When you ask those questions, then you get to hear what is really their problem. Where are they struggling? What are their words around their struggle? And that is really important, because when you get those words, you can use them in your conversations, you can use them in their marketing, and it's going to connect that much more. So you're probably doing this already. You're asking your prospects, what is their top challenge? Where have they been struggling? What would they be willing to spend their money on? And those types of questions are giving you the answers in terms of what you need to be saying to people to really connect with their language and their challenge. And they're also giving you clues as terms in terms of the services and products that you can offer. Now, your job seekers can do the exact same thing. They can connect with people in their network, likely their peers, and maybe that person that would be their boss, and that level of person at any company. It doesn't necessarily have to be their target companies, although that would be great. They're really asking the same questions. What's the challenge in the industry right now? What are they seeing? Where are they going? What does that transition look like? And the more knowledgeable they are, the better and deeper questions they'll have. But an open-ended question is fine. In fact, you get better responses from that. So, what are the major challenges they are seeing in the industry right now? Doesn't mean your client hasn't read and doesn't know some things, but what are the challenges that that person is seeing right now? Then they get the language and the words and maybe even some resources that they could share to keep that conversation going and to add value. So people talk a lot about add value, add value with your content, add value with your resume, but if you haven't figured out what people are really struggling with or what their challenges are or what they see as the problem, you might be adding value that doesn't really connect, and you're not going to get the engagement. You're not going to get that wow factor if you haven't done the research to figure out what is it really that people are struggling with. And a few questions asked to your network, to your prospects, can make all the difference. Now, you might say, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't have time to do that. And so Ryan gives us this great process he calls a stealth deep dive survey. So, deep dive survey is his way of getting people's information about what are they looking for, what do they really want. And then he says, okay, so if you can't do that, maybe you don't have a list, maybe you don't have an audience to do that with, or you can't wait. Like, let's say you're just starting in business or you've started to see a slowdown and you can't go back to all your prospects fast enough. He calls it the stealth deep dive survey because you're going out and seeing what are people posting online. So what types of challenges are people posting online that you can kind of ask without asking? And this goes into our second tip for today, which is listening. So are we really listening to what people are asking for? Are you listening to the challenges and problems that your prospects are talking to you about? Are you listening to the challenges and things that people are talking about online? And I've found some really great feedback. One, and you wouldn't think about this, I'll give it to you. It's my secret tip in Amazon book reviews. So we've got tons of colleagues that have books that are published. And if you go and read in their book reviews, what you're looking for is the problems that people said the book helped them solve. So they're praising this book because it helped them do X, Y, or Z. There you go. There's some of the most critical challenges that people are wanting solved. Also on YouTube videos, go on to some of our colleagues' YouTube videos, people that get a lot of comments, and you can see what people say they really got out of the video. And again, they're sharing their challenge with you. Facebook groups can also be a great place to see what types of challenges people are posting. You may not want to engage in those groups. It may be people that aren't necessarily going to be your client. But if you just take that listening place, what are the challenges? What are people struggling with? And in about, one day, you have 3 articles or 3 posts that really speak to someone's challenges just from watching what other people are posting in a Facebook group, a job search Facebook group, whatever might be specific to your industry, your types of job seekers, or even just a local job search group. And you can find a lot of great content there from what people are looking for. And if you're joining me, feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're joining me from. I'd love to see your questions and your thoughts on how we can make these connections. So your job seekers can still do a little bit of this kind of social listening, if you will, see what types of things people are posting about, maybe reading their industry organization magazines. It's going to be a little bit different for them. But they also can do better listening when they're talking to people, when they're asking them about the challenges in the industry, to not only hear what they're saying, but also to kind of interpret that and make some good assumptions to ask a next question and dive deeper so that they're really getting that juicy part of what are the challenges and what would be a good way for them to share value and not simply sharing content that isn't valuable to the challenges that they're actually having. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Marcia. Good to see you all. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining me. It's good to see you. So, we're talking today about how to engage with those clients, or how to engage with them in social media for ourselves, but also how to help our clients do the same. And we've talked about asking, so asking great questions, really trying to figure out what are people struggling with, and our job seekers can do the same. What are their industry struggling with, their hiring managers, and then listening. Are we listening for patterns? Are we listening for what's not being said? And are we listening to our prospects, especially when we're on those sales calls? Because it does a few things for us. One, it makes it not just about that sale, which takes the pressure off of everyone. And two, of course, it gives us that great information that we can use in a post or in an article or whatever it might be to really make sure that we're connecting with the current pains of our audience. And we might even switch up our sales, our services, our products to make sure we're meeting that need. And then the last thing, so we've got our ask, listen, and then track. Start tracking those. Start a place where you are tracking that feedback from your prospects, from these conversations that you're having or that your job seekers are having. Because when you start to see the same things over and over again, then you know you've got something. And remember, I talked about the power of their language, that if you really are listening well and taking notes and putting that somewhere, then when you go to write an article, you're not making up how someone would describe their problem or putting it in your words, which can feel, preachy or whatever. You're using their words. And you can, meld it into a story. We know the power of stories, and really connect in terms of how you are telling that story. And the same thing our clients can do in their resumes, of course, making sure they're using the language from job descriptions. But if they've been talking to people that do the hiring, they can also use that industry language that, maybe even goes a little beyond what you'd see in the job descriptions to really show that they're in the know. So we got to ask, we got to listen, and then we got to track, not only to track the trends and see the information coming in, but to really have that language that is authentic and connective because it's what's coming from the people that we're talking to. And, Ryan taught a whole boot camp, a 3-day boot camp on doing this. And it was awesome to get to do the work and collect that information and then see how much easier it makes your communication when you're not stretching or reaching for the words. You're using the words that people were using when they were talking to you or when they're posting online. And we do a lot for this for our clients in a resume. So now it's just taking it and applying it to that even a little bit deeper and to our own marketing if we're in our independent business. So I'd encourage you, if you want to join us this Thursday, where this is from 4 to 6 Eastern time. Is that right? No, that's Mountain time. From 6 to 8 Eastern time, 4 to 6 my time, Mountain time. And this is free. Ryan's going to talk about the quiz funnel. He'd probably talk a little bit about this deep dive survey idea because that's a lot of what the quiz funnel is connected to. But if you're interested, he's a lot of fun and he's got a very good marketing background, helpful for us and for our clients. The last thing that I'll share, again, we've been talking about this for a few weeks and it's coming up July 13th, is our social media for job search strategist. And this is that proactive process of how do we teach our clients to use jobs search in social media and to use social media as a tool. So it's not just about having a great profile. It's about really consistently connecting, doing the research, getting off of LinkedIn too, and seeing what the other platforms might bring to the richness of their search, depending on the industry and the types of people that they want to connect with. So we do go in depth in LinkedIn, but we also talk about the wonderful world of Twitter for research, Facebook groups, because there's so much power there, especially with the opportunity to join a community. We talk about Instagram for specific industries and how that might be a connective place. And then we talk a little bit about TikTok and other platforms. It's really it's a process that they can use to research, connect, and build community so that they can be that client that other people are referring into the job instead of having to apply cold. And that's what that class is all about. So I hope that you'll go forward and do some more asking, listening, and tracking, and that might help you in your marketing and also help your clients in connecting to their target audience. If you have any other topics that you'd like us to cover, or guests that we can bring on, or trends that we can discuss, we are going to be talking a little bit about the evolution of the career services industry. I saw some people asking about that in the Facebook group, and it's been a while since we talked about that and how is AI and everything coming into the work that we do. So we'll swing back around to that here in the next few weeks. But I'd love if you have any other topic ideas or questions, you can drop them in the comments here, or if you haven't joined our public Facebook group yet and would like to share them there, let me know, and we'd love to have you in that group. Then I'll drop that link here as well. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next week. I'll be in another location, but I'll also be here so that we can connect and talk about trends. Thank you.